Next, we'll be heading over to the synagogue. That should be quite interesting as well to see the difference in design. We're at the metro stop Astoria, and I have to go under the street here. That's the best way to cross. On the other side, we're very close to there's a lady asking for money. It's kind of common in the metro. So on the other side, we'll be close to this synagogue, guys. Can't wait to check it out. We have this theater here. Say Bella Rossi. This should be the synagogue. Yes, this is the synagogue over here. And this is the largest and most famous synagogue in Budapest. It is huge. Look at that. And I believe it's very ornate inside, but it's also pretty expensive to go inside. It's like, I think it's close to $30 to go inside this synagogue. It's closed today anyway, but I just want to show you where it is. So we're not far from the main street over there. It's just off of that. Okay, so now we can see the synagogue up close. You can see the windows are very ornate. So it seems like it's very touristic. They have a tourist office here. It is very touristic here. I've seen the pictures. It looks very beautiful, very ornate inside. In fact, this style here is something I've seen before, similar to what I've seen in Granada, actually. Very interesting style here. And here is some information about it. It is the largest synagogue in Europe and the second largest one in the world. Dohany Street Synagogue. Tickets are $9,000 for it. That is from the website. So that is like $25. So kind of expensive here. A student is $7,100, so still like $20. And a family is $20,800 to enter. In Hebrew it is the Knesset HaGadol Shel Budapest, also known as the Great Synagogue or Tabak Gas Synagogue, is a historical building in the 7th district of Budapest, Hungary. It is the largest synagogue in Europe, seating 3,000 people, and is the center of Neo-Log Judaism. It was built in 1859. It is still an active synagogue. The architect was Ludwig Forster, and the style is Moorish Revival. That's what I was talking about. I've seen a similar style in Granada, actually. The synagogue was built between 1854 and 1859 in the Moorish Revival style, with the decoration based chiefly on Islamic models from North Africa and medieval Spain, the Alhambra. See, interesting, guys. I picked that out. The synagogue's Viennese architect Ludwig Forster believed that no distinctly Jewish architecture could be identified, and thus chose architectural forms that have been used by Oriental ethnic groups that are related to the Israelite people, in particular the Arabs. The interior design is partly by Frigyes Feschel. The Dohany Street Synagogue complex consists of the Great Synagogue, the Heroes Temple, the Graveyard, the Memorial, and the Jewish Museum, which was built on the site in which Theodor Herzl's house of birth stood. Dohany Street itself is a leafy street in the city center, carries strong Holocaust connotations as it is constituted the border of the Budapest ghetto. Wow, that is insanely interesting. And I have heard that there was a Jewish population here in Hungary and during the Second World War, that many of them were sent off to concentration camps during the World War II, unfortunately. That is very interesting that they wanted to build it in different styles and combine the styles. So it is closed today. I saw some people wanting to go in right there. Fortunately, they can't. You can see a little bit of it from here. Interesting that this neighborhood is the old Jewish ghetto. Maybe we can tour some more of that. I did walk around here one day and I saw some kind of markings or something saying that this was, and there were some people had left like flowers and things, and there were some pictures of maybe some of the Jews that were sent off in World War II. Souvenirs here. So we're just gonna be able to walk around it. and maybe we'll be able to walk around this area and see if we can find anything from those days when, unfortunately, this was a Jewish ghetto. It's unbelievable how man's inhumanity to man just keeps continuing. This looks like it's Soviet. It says Soviet Hadsareg, maybe a name, 1945, January 18th. So I know the war ended in 1945, World War II. So maybe that was something related to World War II. And there are, looks like there are gravestones in there, or headstones remembering people maybe that died. And you can see some old photos, it looks like some old photos of what it used to look like. Okay, here's something in English finally. Help. Europe's largest Jewish cemetery is in danger of being ruined. Save the past to enrich the future. This vast memorial garden has 300,000 burials. Our mission is to restore it to its original intended beauty. The sacred ground bears witness to the enormous contribution of Jewish Hungarians across all walks of life. If we do not act now, this will soon be lost. We have begun our work, but need funds to continue. So it looks like they're restoring the whole cemetery. It just looked like woods before, and now they found the old graves and restored them. Look at that. Interesting. Why? Maybe the city is trying to take back this area. Oh, and I did see this online, this photo. So this is some kind of monument or memorial here. It would be quite interesting to go inside. You can see the back of the synagogue. So even though we can't go inside, it was still quite interesting, I think. And we have some more. This is definitely Jewish writing here. So this is still part of the synagogue. The Torah, which is their holy book, Talmud Torah. So I wonder if there are some things left from what they call the Jewish ghetto here. Okay, so that monument, when I peeked in through the gate there, it looked like a weeping willow, and that is a design, and it is actually a monument to the Jews that died in the Holocaust, and it's inside the synagogue. I just read about it now. I walked about a block away, and there's something here, and it's written in this Jewish language, Tabori Ravinatus, so maybe some kind of rabbi, and or maybe just a plaque from what it used to be. Well, let's take a look at the building. So just around the corner is a place called Caravan. It says Street Food Budapest. And here it says Street Food Court and Beer Garden. So I think we might be near the ruined bars now. And here's some more writing here, guys. So maybe some of the Jewish people still live here. This says mikveh for women, mikveh for men. Interesting. Must be some kind of Jewish thing. So again, some Jewish things. So this is Simple Kurt. This is the ruined bar that we went to. Interesting. So it's in the old Jewish neighborhood, I guess. Okay, so I talked with this woman over there, and she's waiting to go into the Simple Kurt, but she did say she's not from here, but she thinks it's also was the Jewish ghetto here. So this is Renaissance house, it looks like. So I'm back on the main street now. I think there was mostly bars there, and you had that beer court, street food. So Definitely an interesting street. I have another video about Simple Kurd if you want to see what it looks like at night. It's a big party there. It's a ruined bar. So let's see if we can find out anything more about this Jewish ghetto. I've turned off a side street off this main road, and there's supposed to be another synagogue around here. So I'm heading there now. So a lot more graffiti in this neighborhood. I would say that this is more of a counterculture neighborhood. We've got the ruined bars. We do have some nice architecture there. Look at that. So let's head over here to where the synagogue is and see what we can find there. There's another synagogue. It's not the main one.
44, like a lot of so they all the people who used to live here and not Jewish people.
Okay.
They had to move out,
right?
And the Jewish people had to move in. But it was a kind of a huge place, so it's a whole district. This whole kind of more or less the whole downtown of the 7th district. So it wasn't a small place. It was a lot. It's a big one.
Very nice. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, it is. So Kirai Street.
So from Kirai Street.
Kirai Street, from Kirai Street to Kerte Street, and the Dohany Street, which is makes like a square. Way.
Okay. So this lady here is telling me that there was a square, and this is where the Jewish people had to live during the World War II, and the locals moved out, and the Jewish people had to move in. So she said it wasn't just a ghetto, but it was just like a district where they had to live.
Yeah, from 44.
From 1944. So after the war.
It's kind of the last minute because like the problem was like in Hungary that like especially in Budapest that like everybody thought they will survive because they were kind of they just had to live here, but in the just like kind of last minutes of the Second World War, they just actually made all the Jewish go to Auschwitz. Like, and it was like kind of that was the insane part. That not from the beginning.
Not from the beginning.
Kind of like the last 1.5 years or something.
Wow, that's strange. And we don't seem to be learning. We're still here. Stop war with Ukraine. We're in the same situation again, aren't we?
Yeah, you see.
So, like they say, the history repeats itself, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Very nice to meet you. Okay, so a nice young woman there. She told me the situation, guys. So you can see more graffiti here, and she's running some kind of bookstore there. And it's funny because I was on this pub tour a few days ago, and we stopped here right next door at this bar here. So basically this whole sector, this whole area, you heard her say the Jewish people had to move here. But it was interesting because it was at the end of the war. It was in 1944. And I said ghetto, and she didn't want to use that term. She said it's kind of a touchy subject. So I'm sure that she feels bad about what happened, but of course you can't blame that on her. She wasn't alive at the time. So there's supposed to be a synagogue down here. So let's see if we can find that, and if we can find any more remnants of what happened in 1944. Okay, so I just went through a little tunnel area. You can see there's a lot of graffiti in this area, which is kind of unusual for the rest of Budapest. This looks kind of beautiful over here. And we also have a Love Ukraine, it looks like. Heart. And there's something here. So some kind of restaurant or something there. Bar. This is quite nice. So there's supposed to be a synagogue close by, an old synagogue. Got some beautiful art there. So maybe the hipster neighborhood, if you will, of Budapest. Here's a sign, and we have some Jewish writing. I see 1912. So let's walk this way. I think there's supposed to be another synagogue close by here. Interesting how we have so much graffiti here. So I've come to a corner, and I believe there's something this way. Wow, it's quite confusing here with the maps and things, but quite interesting. This is an interesting day of exploration. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I hope that you are at home. There's kosher, a lot kosher. So apparently we are still in a Jewish neighborhood with the kosher. And this is something, it says Jewish book and gift shop. Weinberger Judaica, I guess, in their language. So we are finding some things here. Some remnants of the old Jewish neighborhood. It looks like some of the people stayed behind. Okay, so this I believe is the synagogue here. This is one of the synagogues. Wow, you can definitely see that this is a beautiful synagogue here. Apparently we are on Kaczynski Street now, the one the woman talked about, and this is the Kaczynski Street Synagogue. It is an Art Nouveau Orthodox synagogue built between 1912 and 1913 Budapest. It is one of the most characteristic works of Hungarian synagogue architecture before the First World War. It says here, after the Jews of Pest split into 3 branches at the end of the 19th century, the idea of building an Orthodox synagogue in Elizabeth City came to mind in 1909. The site of Kaczynski Street, owned by the Pest Autonomous Orthodox Jewish Community, was designated as a suitable site for construction. On June 25th the same year, the elders of the community announced the application for design of a complete building complex, which included beside the synagogue a community headquarters, a kindergarten, a school, and public kitchen. And it was designed by Joseph Borges, Sander Skodzecki, Emil Augustin, Sandor Loeffler, and Bela Loeffler. Very, very interesting. Look at this, guys. So you can see the work on this is absolutely beautiful. Let's get up close. Take a look. This is beautiful workmanship here. All stained glass. Must be absolutely gorgeous inside. There's an inscription here. Bejer Lajos. It appears that mission is complete. I have found another remnant of the old Jewish district here in Budapest. Looks like there's actually the gate open. So it says there's a garden here. This is the Autonomous Jewish Orthodox Community Budapest since 1872. I believe that's where we are now. And I guess you can see inside what it looks like. Just beautiful. Yes, we have the Jewish letters here, and this is, I believe, the synagogue, Shash Shevra. That's what it's called. So maybe the entrance. I think there's a garden too. Looks like there's apartments here or something too. So I wonder if this is just open, you can go in here, or you have to pay. Kosher. Oh, look at the stained glass from here. Wow, absolutely gorgeous, guys. We're in the back of the Jewish synagogue now. Absolutely gorgeous. more of the beautiful stained glass there. So the whole thing here in Budapest is a very, very interesting history, especially for the Jewish people. I think it was a dark history as well, but maybe now in the future will be a bright history, and let's hope for that. And that is the story I have to tell today. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video. Travel addict, a guy live from the Jewish district here in Budapest, Hungary. Take care, everyone.